Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Botcast Football Show, the podcast where we talk about everything Bristol United related. Once again this week, I am joined by first team manager John Gilbertson. John, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you, James. And you?
Good, I'm very well, thanks. Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Now, before we get into all the football talk and everything else, let's have a quick, not a quick look, but a look at our mental health and well-being check-in. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you?
I'd say probably a 7 today. Not so high as my normal scores, but I think that's just attributed to going back, first day back at work. A million and one things to do. So, probably a 7 at the moment.
Yeah, well, thank you for taking the time to record this with me. It's a tricky month, isn't it? January it can be very depressing at times, can't it?
Yeah, it can. Yeah, dark nights, long month.
And before we started recording, we were just having a quick chat, and we said about the weather at the moment is it's just atrocious, isn't it? You know, and it's showing no signs of really stopping, is it?
No, I looked at the forecasters, sort of looking forward to sort of the fixtures, but yeah, I don't think it's easing up anytime soon as well. So, not great.
No, not great at all. And we'll come on to that in a bit more detail a bit later because of the weekend ahead. But a 7 to start the month, I suppose it could be worse, couldn't it?
Yeah, it definitely could be, yeah.
It can always be worse, I suppose. That's the way I look at things. And you had a good Christmas?
Lovely Christmas, yeah. It really sort of nice sort of period off work, and you spend sort of time at home lounging around it. It flew by, but yeah, a nice Christmas period.
Nice relaxing break.
Yeah.
And I think I know the answer to this, John, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Did you miss the football, the Bristol United getting the boys together and?
Yeah, it seemed a bit strange, to be honest with you. I mean, we played on the 20, I think it's the 23rd.
23rd, wasn't it? Yeah.
So we was playing right up until then.
Yeah.
But then just having that sort of week off with the sort of training and no match, it was nice because you sort of get time to really chill out and not be planning stuff and thinking of this. But at the same time, it's weird when you've been involved in football all your life. It's a strange sort of feeling of what we're going to do and stuff like that. But yeah, it was nice. But I'm glad it's all sort of back to normal, and we're back at training now tonight.
Yeah, and I think that is the key word, what you just said, normality, isn't it? You know, it's not nice going back to work after the break, but it is nice to have that bit of normality.
Yeah, definitely.
And knowing what day it is.
That's a big one. Although I'm still confused. It's Tuesday now, and it seems like a Monday.
It really does feel like a Monday, doesn't it? Yeah.
So it's a bit all over the place.
Yeah, but we'll get there, mate. We'll get there. So, and like you said, the boys are back training tonight. So, obviously you're looking forward to that, and I'm sure all the boys are as well. And the game. So this Saturday coming, which is the 6th of January. You're scheduled at the moment to play Park Knoll up at Redcats Park.
That's correct, yeah.
I know we had a quick chat before this, but let's just talk about that. So at the moment, the game is on, but you've got concerns.
Yeah, it's on. Major concerns, to be honest with you. And like we said, it's not just us. I should imagine a hell of a lot of games is going to be cancelled the weekend. What doesn't fill me with hope is Saturday as well. It's a sort of council pitch, so they're generally quicker to call games off than a sort of normal private stadium or pitch.
Yeah.
So I know. I mean, the only good, again, a little bit of chance trying to be optimistic. I should imagine there hasn't been games up there for 2 weeks, so at least it's not chewed up, but I should imagine it's waterlogged. The rain we've had, I know strong winds normally dries it out, but myself, I can't see it. I can't see it going ahead myself. But fingers crossed, you never know.
I mean, it's difficult not to agree with what you just said because the amount of rain we have had has been atrocious, and I haven't looked at the forecast for the next few days, but I don't think it's getting much better, or certainly not good enough to make a massive amount of difference. So, and the problem is as well with all the water that's lying on the pitch at the moment, any rain that comes down is just going to sit on top of that, and you know it's got nowhere to go, has it really?
That's right. I mean, I know with Red Catch it is on a bit of a slope, so I know they got the very top pitch. So hopefully that will drain faster than sort of normal. But the amount of rain we've had is just it's not just a sort of couple of hours downpour. It's been constant. So so I will be surprised if it goes ahead. But let's keep our fingers crossed.
Having said that though, and I agree, I'd be surprised if there's many games on locally at all Saturday. But you still got to train tonight and prepare for the game to be on, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And we've got a good session planned tonight. Like I'm sure the players is gonna absolutely love this. But like any sort of this time of year, there's been a lot of sort of overindulging in food and drink. So tonight's very much a sort of blow the cobwebs away session tonight. And there's always first session back after Christmas. There's an element of fitness work going sort of. Going to be sort of planned and going on tonight, and I'm going to be keen to sort of watch the attendance levels because at the moment we've got great numbers. By the time this goes out and people listen to it probably on their way home, if I start to see players suddenly decline in training tonight for mysterious illnesses, I'll know why. But yeah, it's going to be we'll do a bit of work and stuff tonight, but they're certainly sort of blowing the cobwebs out of what have everybody been stuffing their faces with food and drink, I should imagine, and sweets over Christmas.
Yeah, but I get the impression that everybody enjoys the training as well. So
they do, yeah.
It's not a labour of love, is it? You know, it is something they enjoy doing.
Absolutely, and I'm blessed as a manager with the team we got, and I know I bang on about this and sort of my love for the lads and stuff like that. But their attitudes is superb, no matter what. Whether it's a 2-hour fun game tonight or 2 hours fitness, you get the same level of sort of dedication from the boys, and their attitudes are sort of first class. And I've played football a hell of a long time, and it's one of the best groups I've been involved with because, anything you throw at them, they just get on with, and they know it's for a common cause of to make them better, fitter, make us a better team, and they just crack on with it, and it's a dream really for a manager.
You can't ask for a lot more, really, can you? I suppose.
No, I'm really lucky there.
Good. And last week's episode, which was slightly different because you weren't on the one last week, but I had 3 of the players on, and we sort of talked about if anybody hasn't listened to that, it's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Podbean as well. And it's worth a listen, I think. And I'm not just saying that because I recorded it, but I do think it's worth a listen if you haven't listened to it already. The players were sort of talking about what their sort of hopes are for 2024, which tied back to what you discussed on the last podcast that we recorded together as well. So it's full steam ahead straight away, really, isn't it, from a league point of view?
It is, yeah. And I said we've gone into the sort of turn of the year in third, so we're handily placed for sort of mount a promotion challenge. As long as the lads keep doing what they do, the basics, and do the basics very well, then we'll be in with a shout. It's going to be a congested second half of the sort of season because we got a cup run, which has seen us have to cancel a few league games.
Yeah.
Where the weather's obviously going to play a factor into that. So it's going to be, I think how it's going to go, it's going to be, I don't think we got a week off now between now and the end of the season, which is great. But I think there's going to be a few sort of rescheduled evening matches, which is going to be played from sort of March, April onwards, because I don't think we're going to be able to fit all the games in, really. So
no, I mean, it happens pretty much every season, doesn't it, really? Because of the weather and the rain and the freezing weather and so on. It's a shame, but it is what it is. And that's not just your league. That's in most non-league leagues, isn't it? You know,
It is, and I mean, again, for stuff like this is why we put the preparation in of getting the lads as fit as they are, and we are they're an extremely fit bunch of lads, an extremely fit side, and it shows us that with the sort of amount of goals we score later on in games, and that's going to play in a sort of big factor come the end of the season. If we're playing sort of Monday, sort of Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday for a few weeks, I think that's going to sort of play into our hands a little bit. Because I said we're a fit, very fit team, and
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm going back a long time ago when I used to play. I mean, we used to have double fixtures sometimes where we would play the same team back to back with
Yeah.
sort of a 20-minute break. And I don't know if that still exists nowadays. I used to love it as a player, being a young, fit player, to play sort of back to back matches. But I just said, I don't even know if that exists, if that's a thing anymore. But
Well,
if it is,
I vaguely remember it happening a few years ago. But I can't remember at what level that was. Um, but yeah, I don't know if it exists nowadays or not, because that was a few years ago. But
yeah.
but at the same time, if it suits both clubs to do it, and the players are happy to do it as well, then I can't really see why it would be an issue. But
No, and like I said, I mean, that's what we're prepping for. We're fit. We're
yeah,
prepping for all things like that. And like I said, our preseason, no matter what went into the preseason, that won't be nothing new to us to play a lot of games in a short space of time.
well, when you played an 8-hour game recently, that's not going to be a problem, is it? So
yeah, well, I won't be playing this double header, so that's I'm happy to push the lads forward to play 2 games back to back. It's very
you ain't
easy to
got to
do
do
when you're not playing yourself. Yeah.
it. And you just mentioned it a minute ago. Obviously, sort of the period coming up is always busy, but this month. So we're recording this on the 2nd of January. You got a game on the 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th. So that's 4 games this month. The
Yeah.
20th, there was a league game scheduled, but that's been cancelled because you're in the cup, isn't it? Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah. So we've got our cup game against Saxbridge, so we're in the third round of the cup. So again, it's fantastic. It's horrible cancelling league games, but the cup run is always a good positive thing for the club. So long may that continue.
And that's at home, isn't it, the cup game?
We're at home, yeah. We're at
Yeah.
home.
So a bit of a date for the diary, sort of shout out really. 20th of January at Imperial. I suppose you don't know yet which pitch you'll be on, but it will be at Imperial.
Yeah, we're not sure the kick-off time as well at the moment because of fitting in with other teams and stuff like that. So it's going to be on that date, time to sort of be confirmed. There's just a lot of sort of workings out to go on yet for that one.
Okay, I'm quite looking forward to it, to be honest. So, because I went to watch Bristol City play yesterday, and their next game is on the 20th of January, their home game against Watford.
Okay.
I was down there yesterday, and I was watching the game yesterday, and if anybody's listening to this went yesterday, you can't really have enjoyed it because it was awful. And that's me saying that as a Bristol City fan. It was honestly, John, it was awful. I mean, the last 2 games, I watched them Friday night against Birmingham on Friday night, and I think it was the only time. It's the only time in memory that I can remember I fell asleep watching football.
Oh God.
I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I was sat on the sofa, mind you know, and sort of like a bit tired anyway. And I got to half time and I fell asleep and I woke up and I didn't even bother with the second half.
No.
And then yesterday I went to the game down at Ashton Gate and I could have fell asleep down there at certain times. But yeah, so I thought no chance. I'm going to go and watch Bristol United on the 20th in the cup and not spend my money on going down to watch that. I mean, I will go and watch Bristol City again this season, obviously, you know, but it was just dire yesterday. I'm looking forward to the cup game, and I'm hoping to be there Saturday as well. But like we said a minute ago, I'm not. It's in my plans, but I'm not expecting to be there because I don't expect the game to be on.
No.
And I'm not going to stand in the park for 2 hours on my own.
No, well, you can do. They got some slides and swings if you want. But
I could, mate. I could be. I just think it might be a bit weird.
yeah.
I don't want people looking at me and being all over Facebook as who's this man sort of thing, you know. So, but yeah, so that's January sort of to look forward to, and then obviously we've got the rest of the season. So over the coming weeks, we got lots to discuss. I noticed the club as well yesterday. There was something new on social media yesterday on YouTube. With the Who Am I?
Guess who?
Guess who? That's it. Sorry, Guess Who? Yeah.
Guess who? So yeah, a funny little video we do from time to time with just keeping sort of content fresh and it's had a few sort of laughs and comments of the players and players have been there sort of between ages of 2 and 6 and it's a little mini game of guess who the player is. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I did watch it this morning. I'm not going to lie, I didn't get any of them. But I did watch it very quickly this morning. But no, I mean, it's good to have that, like you said, fresh content being put out in, like you said at the end of last year as well, as a club that doesn't really sort of stand still and rest on his laurels so much, do they? You're always looking at new things to do, and I think 2024 can be a good year for gaining more followers on every platform.
Yeah, we've had a real sort of growth over the last sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. Like I said, we've gone over sort of 1,000 subscribers now on YouTube, which doesn't sound a lot, but it's huge for a new channel in the first 6 months.
Yeah, definitely.
Sort of Twitter following's over 1,000 followers now, and it's like I said, when you sort of put it in perspective, the club's been going 18 months. A lot of these social media channels have only been going 6 months to 12 months. So we're sort of progressing along nicely and way ahead of the curve for sort of trending when you're looking at the analysis of things. But you're right, James. I mean, we're a forward-thinking club. We're always looking at the next thing, and we're going to try certain things that some people think it's silly, and some things we'll try what doesn't work, and some things we'll try what's successful. But there's a lot of ideas coming out, and we'll keep sort of pursuing with it, and sort of the next thing at the moment. I know we've started a few things with live streaming with games and sort of Ask the Gaffer, and so we're going to be sort of branching out a lot more to live streaming as well coming this year. So yeah, and it's early days, and we do get our comment of why what's the point, why are you doing all this? But like I said, we got the plans of taking this club to a really big scale in the next sort of 5 to 10 years, and you have to start somewhere, and and that's what we'll be doing.
Yeah, I think as well. I mean, because obviously I follow quite a few people on Twitter, and they follow me, sort of like the non-league scene. I think more and more people are sort of heading towards the non-league scene, because those that follow the Premier League and especially the Premier League, I think, are getting a little bit fed up with it.
Yeah.
And I think the growth of non-league football, even though the investment isn't there from the governing bodies that it should be like the Premier League, I think the interest in non-league football will grow. Because, I mean, I started watching the Newcastle-Liverpool game last night, and I got really fed up with it.
Yeah.
Because it's all about VAR now.
I know your feeling, and it's exactly the same again with the sort of the penalty incident, and it's just like, oh, it's deja vu. I'm just sort of fed up and bored and sick of it, to be honest with you. And
yeah, I think a lot of people are.
I think you're right, and I mean, it's going to sound like an old fogey now, but the world's changing as well of how people view and watch things. I mean, people sort of my age were used to sitting down watching the TV as a family together, and watching sort of Morecambe and Wise, two Ronners and stuff like that. I know I'm showing the age.
Yeah, no, what I mean.
But those days it's gone. It's changed now, and it's sort of the younger generation now, they're all on sort of YouTube and iPads and laptops and stuff like that, and that's what we're aiming for. We got people current ages and age groups following us, but the sort of new wave of how to be involved in things is all online, and that will only get bigger over the coming sort of next 5-10 years. And it's a sort of like a little thing we heard the other week with a sort of a young boy, and sort of said he wants to sort of like be involved in, wants to play for Bristol United when he's older. And it's people, because they're not just sort of turning up on a Saturday and just seeing a game of football. They're involved 7 days a week if they want to be, because they're watching videos on YouTube, and it's little things like that. You think it makes it worthwhile, and we're heading in the right direction, because like we know, if social media takes off, there's a lot of revenue to be brought in from it. So
yeah, of course there
is. That will help speed up the acceleration of the club of making Bristol United, because I said what we want in 5, 10, 20 years is to be a real top club in Bristol, with our own ground facilities that everybody wants to be involved in. That's our aim, and we're ambitious with that, and we won't sort of stop until we get there, and it's going to be a special club, I think, going forward.
Yeah, no, I agree, and like again, it's great to have that ambition as well, and the negativity that people say, what's the point, and is it worth it, and all that. But of course, it's worth it, I mean, a prime example of the YouTube stuff as well. If you wouldn't have put the YouTube stuff out, I probably would have eventually, but I wouldn't have found out about the club last year.
Yeah.
I mean, so from those YouTube videos that you put out over the summer, which I watched, that's when I got involved and we started doing the podcast. So I like to think something good's come out of it, at least, hasn't it? So.
It is, and I think as well, and it sounds strange. I mean, because it's ridiculous to say, but it also the getting recognised. And I've had a few sort of funny looks, and we've come across people in the football industry, like where our level,
Yeah.
and people are calling us, but they don't know us, and we don't know them, but they know us, and they might say sort of John or Sam or Ash or by the players, and the amount of sort of feedback we get from other teams and other players, like just recently, a goalie is like, "I watches all your videos," and I've been out somewhere where, and people's looking at you enough to say like, "I know that face from somewhere," and it's not about celebrity. We're not in it for that at all, but 1,000 subscribers, a lot more watching the videos. It is going around the sort of football community. And I said, it's the amount of footballers we get, opponents come to us and say, we watch this, we watch that, I follow you. And if it starts spreading within that community, then we've already seen that the amount of players we're turning away what want to sign on for us.
Yeah.
I've probably turned, in the last 4 months, I've probably turned 50 to 60 plus players away. And that's general inquiries. Not all of those would probably come through, but that's over 50 people wanting to be involved in Bristol United. Parents asking for their children's. We haven't got a children's team yet, but we will have.
Yeah.
And it's all going around in a positive light. At a time where clubs are folding because they haven't got numbers, we've turned, I said, that number away across all age groups in the last 4 or 5 months. There is people out there and what's interested. So
no, definitely,
we want to
definitely
be at the forefront of that.
Happy days. And just, I mean, you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but I'm sure I saw somewhere about Bristol United reserves.
It is, yeah, and yeah, it's sort of announced internally. So this could be a world exclusive for you, James. Here, so so we're one team at the moment, but as of the 24-25 season, we will have Bristol United reserves. So the wheels is already in motion. We've secured a pitch and stuff like that. And we're working through a few bits and bobs, but yeah, we're going to have, for the sort of first time in our very short history, we'll have a reserve team, our second team, and that will start next season. Where I just said we've turned 50 players at all age groups away.
Yeah.
We know the growth in this club is key to what we want to do, success and growth. And it'll start with the reserves next year. And I know we're already talking about the 25-26 season, where it may be even a side or two sides further to that, whether it's a women's side for women's football and a youth category of some kind. So we're looking at getting our accreditation. We've just been awarded our accreditation for the second year running.
Yeah, I saw that.
To go to the next level of accreditation, we have to have more teams, and it's something we're going to be doing. So again, like I said, we're a very forward-thinking club. And when we're already talking about season 25-26 of hopefully could be our third and fourth team. But right here, right now, our reserves is going to be launched and ready to go for next season. So it's great news for the club.
Well, thanks for that, John, because it's nice to have a world exclusive, as you said, on the podcast. So that's good. I could put that on the headline now when I put it on Twitter. World exclusive.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd let you know before Sky Sports got all of the news. So,
and just one question on the reserves. And again, you don't have to answer it. You might not know the answer. Do you know what league they're in?
It's probably going to be the Bristol Suburban well, it will be the Bristol Suburban, barring the application going through, which we don't foresee any problems with that. It's going to be separate from the Bristol in District. just for obvious reasons. We don't want either team to sort of conflict with each other, because you're not allowed, obviously, to play in the same division.
No, of course, yeah.
And we'll be throwing everything behind the reserves to get them successful as well, the first team. And our big fear was, which you could easily get at some point, if the reserves is only one division behind the first team, if the first team don't get promotion that year and the reserves do, it means the either reserves got to stay where they are, or the first team gets bumped and gains a promotion without earning it. And there's something as a club we didn't want. If somebody gets promoted, they should be promoted and go up. And if you don't get promoted, you shouldn't be moving up divisions. So for that reason, it's going to be entered into a different sort of league, so we don't conflict with any of that going forward.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. So, so I mean, again, it's something else that this year, I think this year is going to be a good year for the club. So, it's all exciting, isn't it? And so stuff to look forward to as well.
Absolutely.
And again, if anybody's interested in finding out more about the club, I'm going to say this, John, and if this is wrong, then let me know. But if anybody's interested in finding out more about the club for the year ahead, or anything about the club, they can contact you directly.
Yeah, if they come through our website, which is www.bristolunitedfc.co.uk. It's a very sort of interactive website. It's always kept up to date, and you'll see from sponsorships, if somebody's interested in becoming a sponsor, there's forms for new players. There's everything on there. There's our fundraisers on there. There's videos, everything you'll need on there, and that'll direct you whatever it is you want from the club.
Yeah.
You just follow the links and it'll direct you to us.
Well, I've got to be honest, because I had a lot of spare time over Christmas when we were at home and I did look on the website the other day, and it is a good website. And there's a shop on there where you can buy Bristol United merchandise. And I really, really had to stop myself from spending money I haven't got at the moment on stuff that my wife would say I don't need. And I nearly bought a Bristol United hat. Then I nearly bought a jacket. I've got to be honest, in the end, I didn't buy anything. But that's only because I couldn't be bothered to have an argument when it arrives.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, John, that wasn't on there that I do want, and I can get one made probably, is a Bristol United mug. I absolutely love a mug for a cup of tea.
Yeah, and we've actually, you're right, they're not on there. We have actually got Bristol United mugs and travel cups and stuff like that. It's something we haven't put on the website for general sale yet, but we will do. Right. But actually in my office, I'm looking at you now, and I got a nice Bristol United travel mug with me with a nice cup of tea in. So they're available, but just not available to the general public yet. But it's something we will definitely be getting sorted and onto the website. Silly things. There's a few things which we haven't got, like scarves yet.
Yeah, I mean, you want to do umbrellas at the moment, mate, don't you?
Yeah. So yeah. So and that the club shop will be ever expanding. It's a nice start. Last year we changed suppliers. This year, and we've had quite a few sales from the club shop. And I know Christmas time I've seen a lot of gifts were being purchased for people of Bristol United, which is always fantastic to see, because it's not all just players buying it. It's the fans as well. So yeah, that'll be sort of added to over the coming months as well.
Yeah, well, I'll keep an eye out for the mugs on there, and then I'll purchase one then, because that shouldn't cause too much of an issue with the missus.
Yeah.
But, well, obviously, like we said, a lot to discuss there, and a lot to look forward to as the season progresses and the year progresses. But first and foremost, this Saturday, away at Redcatch Park, although, like I said to someone last year, I can't remember, one of the boys I was chatting to last week, it is away, but if it's played, it's pretty much a home game in a sense, isn't it? Because it's literally up the road, isn't it? So,
2 minutes away.
That's right. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Saturday 2:00, Saturday 6th of January 2:00 at Redcatch Park. But obviously keep an eye on the social media channels to see if the game goes ahead or not. And then on the 13th, if this week doesn't go ahead on the 13th, you're at home. I forget who you got, but I know you're at home on the 13th.
Yeah, and you put me on the spot. I don't know. I can't think.
No, I did have a look yesterday, maybe I can't remember. Yeah, but we'll be back next week with another episode, so we'll talk about that game in more detail then.
Of course.
In the meantime, Happy New Year to everybody. I don't know if I said that earlier. Happy New Year to everybody that listens. and downloads and passes the word about the podcast and the club in general. We will be back next week, probably next Tuesday, with another episode. Thanks for listening. As we said earlier, all the social media content is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Podbean. So please check it out. And if you're on one of those and you can subscribe, that'd be great. And if you're off to a game this week, wherever you're off to, enjoy the game. Take care.